The fight to be the best women's sprinter reached an exciting moment at this year's Diamond League final in Brussels, Belgium. The 100-meter race brought together a bunch of the world's best running stars, led by two of the fastest athletes.
Right.
Now, Julian Alfred, the brand new Olympic champion, and Sha'carri Richardson, the silver medal winner who's also one of the most famous athletes in sports. Julian Alfred came to Brussels riding high from an amazing season. Her victory at the Olympics with a time of 10.72 seconds in tough weather didn't just win her the gold medal. It also brought glory to her whole country by making her the first athlete from St. Lucia to achieve something so incredible. Her solid performance, her ability to stay consistent in big events, and her competitive mindset made her the favorite to win this important race. Carey Richardson, on the other hand, has had a season full of ups and downs, but also moments of absolute brilliance with her best time of 10.71 seconds this season. The American sprinter has shown she's among the best in the world. Her aggressive style, her explosive speed, and her strong media presence make her a central figure both on and off the track. The rivalry between Alfred and Richardson has been one of the biggest attractions of the year, and their face-off in Brussels promised to be another exciting chapter. But the excitement wasn't limited to just these two stars. The final lineup included other elite sprinters like Marie-Josée Tallou, the experienced runner from Ivory Coast, known for her consistency in major international competitions. Tallou has won medals at World Championships and Olympics and continues to be a serious threat to any opponent thanks to her refined technique and her ability to maintain speed in the final stretch. Another standout star was Dina Asher-Smith, the British runner who got back to her best form in 2024, world champion in 2019 in the 200 meters and bronze at the Tokyo Olympics. In the mixed relay, Asher-Smith has shown remarkable improvement this season. Her determination, combined with greater consistency in her starts, has put her back among the main contenders for big championships. The other British runner, Daryl Naita, has maintained an upward trend in recent years with solid performances at Olympics and World Championships. Nita has become a key figure for European sprinting. Her ability to compete under pressure and her technical improvement promised her a starring role in upcoming international events. From the United States, young Tamari Davis brought freshness and ambition with a promising track record in youth categories and increasingly competitive marks in the elite level. Davis is seen as one of the new gems of American track and field. Her explosiveness and youth make her an unpredictable rival who could surprise at any moment with this group of athletes. The final in Brussels wasn't just another race, it was the closing of an intense season, the last great opportunity to leave a mark before the break, and preparation for 2025. The pressure was high and the stage was perfect for an exciting showdown. It wasn't just about winning, but about marking territory in a sport where the difference between glory and being forgotten can be measured in hundredths of a second. The expectation from the public, media, and coaches themselves was at its highest. Everyone knew this race could redefine the landscape of women's sprinting heading into next season. Every detail, from the start to the final meters, would be analyzed, commented on, and compared. And among all of them, Julian Alfred and Sha'carri Richardson were the ones carrying the weight of a rivalry that promises to extend far beyond Brussels just 1 week before the final in Brussels. The Diamond League circuit had witnessed an earlier chapter of this rivalry. At the meeting in Zurich, Sha'carri Richardson managed to beat Julian Alfred with a time of 10.84 seconds, a mark even better than what she recorded in the Olympic final. That victory sent a clear message. Sha'carri still had a lot to say before closing the season. However, Alfred wasn't far behind and was very close, showing that the battle for the sprint throne was more open than ever. With this fresh precedent, the duel in Brussels took on even more intensity. But unlike Zurich, the weather conditions in Belgium looked considerably more challenging. Temperatures barely exceeded 10 degrees Celsius with forecasts of rain and headwinds, elements that can have a notable impact on athletes' performance, especially in explosive and technical events like the 100 meters. Experts were already warning that these conditions could slow down times by approximately 0.15 to 0.20 seconds. A difference that in such a short race can completely modify the final result. However, if there was an athlete with experience and confidence to perform in these circumstances, that was Julian Alfred. Her victory at the Paris Olympics, precisely in the rain, had been clear proof of her temperament. Running 10.72 seconds under those conditions wasn't a coincidence, but a reflection of her physical, technical, and psychological preparation. On the other hand, Sha'carri Richardson had unfinished business to prove she could also excel in adverse situation. Throughout the year, her performance had been somewhat inconsistent, depending on environmental conditions. In favorable environments, she's practically unstoppable, but weather difficulties have sometimes worked against her. This race was an opportunity to change that narrative. Besides pride and supremacy, Brussels was also competing for something very concrete: the prize money that the Diamond League gives to winners of each final, as well as an important media and statistical boost heading into the next season, that it wasn't simply a closing race, it was the culmination of an entire year of efforts, strategy, and evolution. Coaches knew that every centimeter counted. In the preview, many pointed out that the key would be in the first 60 meters, where pure acceleration and reaction to the start can create an insurmountable advantage. In that aspect, Alfred usually has one of the best reactions on the circuit, while Asher Smith stands out for her excellent transition between the start and maximum speed phase. British runner Dina Asher-Smith, in fact, came to this race with a clear objective to establish herself as a real contender for the 2025 World Championships. Her progress in 2024 had been constant and notable. Each competition had shown improvements in her technique, especially in her starts, which had historically been her weak point. In Brussels, she had a golden opportunity to finish the season at the top for her part. Marie-Jo Stalu wasn't underestimated by anyone. Despite not having recorded the lowest times of the year, her consistency and ability to adapt to different situations kept her as a high-risk competitor. The experience of years at the World Elite is a factor that often makes the difference in maximum pressure scenarios. The atmosphere in the stadium was one of maximum expectation. Cameras focused again and again on Alfred and Richardson, the two favorites, while the audience maintained tense silence before the starting gun. But there was something more in the air. the feeling that this wasn't just a race, but a declaration of intentions for 2025. Every athlete knew it. The clock would start ticking, and in less than 11 seconds, reputations would be defined, headlines would be written, and the foundations would be laid for the next great season of women's athletics. The starting gun marked the beginning of an electrifying race. As soon as they left the blocks, Julian Alfred and Dina Asher-Smith took the lead. With an explosive start and rapid acceleration from the first 20 meters, both showed they had come ready to dominate, executing clean technique without hesitation or loss of power. In contrast, Sha'carri Richardson, despite a good start, began to lose ground between 30 and 40 meters, a key phase where she usually launches her main attack. While the group advanced, Marijosi Talu was climbing positions with her usual determination. She managed to overtake Richardson in the final meters, taking advantage of the obvious drop from the American, who visibly reduced intensity before the finish line. This drop in rhythm surprised many, especially since it was such an important final. But it made clear that something wasn't working as expected in Sha'carri's strategy or physical condition. Julian Alfred, for her part, offered a demonstration of absolute strength and control. Her passage through 60 meters was 6.98 seconds, an impressive figure considering the adverse conditions, low temperature, humidity, and a headwind that affected everyone equally. However, her technique allowed her to maintain ideal posture with consistent stride frequency and powerful cadence that lifted off the track. In the final 20 meters, Alfred extended her lead even more. While her rivals began to feel fatigued, she subtly accelerated as if she had one more gear reserved for crucial moments. She crossed the finish line with a time of 10.88 seconds, reaffirming her dominance and closing a golden season in the best possible way. Under any other circumstances, the time would have been even faster, but given the conditions, her performance was simply masterful. Dina Asher-Smith, who never lost contact with the leader, finished second with 10.92 seconds. Her race was flawless, good start, smooth transition, and consistent final stretch. This result not only represents a great end to the year for her, but also an affirmation that she's back among the world's best. Her preparation, race, strategy, and physical progression indicate she could be in condition to fight for the world title in 2025. The rest of the group failed to break the 11-second barrier, which reflects both the impact of weather and the level difference compared to the leaders. Still, many participants